We are Humble Narcissist Podcast, episode 17 now. 17 or 18.
Nice.
We're just chugging.
I can't talk.
No, I can't talk today.
It's
chugging
okay.
right along. What have you been up to, Dillon?
Just work. That's all I ever do anymore, just work.
Well, he's also been playing Final Fantasy VII. I know
Yes.
that.
I'm so close to beating it, it's not even funny.
You are. You're very close to beating it. I just want you to hurry up so that we can talk about it.
I will beat it tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow.
Well, good. Today I went out with my sister Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
She is moving again, as you know. She and I went to lunch with some of her kids along with my niece Morgan, and I'm happy to report for the first time ever Morgan sat there and talked to me.
Really?
Yes, like the whole lunch she was sitting there talking to me.
So did you hold her at gunpoint?
No, but I kept asking her a bunch of random questions because I was like, oh my God, she's actually talking to me. She never talks to me. And
Right.
you know that. Last time I tried to talk to her, she cried on her way home. So
It's because you're that nice to people.
I know I'm obviously a saint. So I was pretty thrilled that she was talking to me. So I took advantage of that so that I could actually learn some stuff about my niece, because all of the others.
And what did you learn?
I learned that in cheer, she likes to do the stunts and she doesn't like the tumbles.
Okay.
I don't really know what that is, but I'm going to assume that the stunts are like where they hold people up like the pyramids and stuff.
And the tumbles are where you roll, maybe?
Roll or fall, I don't know, but
I don't know.
I was just excited that she was actually talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a nice day.
Well, good.
Other
I'm
than that, I
glad.
haven't really been doing anything. Oh, we went to go see what is it called? It's that new horror movie, Imaginary.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
You know, coming off of Megan as the
Uh-huh.
last one that I went to go see, it was good.
Okay.
It was a good movie. Imaginary friend gone wrong is what I would call it.
Well, yeah, I figured.
Imaginary friend gets jelly and wants to kill everyone. That's basically the premise of the story. And then crazy old lady across the street who wants to live in the imaginary world. My only complaint, and spoiler warning, when she goes to the imaginary world to confront this being,
Uh-huh.
she just is running around with a pair of scissors. That's her weapon. Girl, you are in the world of
She
imaginary.
can have any weapon she wants.
Yes, if it's a real world of imaginary. I told Corey, I go, because I watch all this anime and stuff, my immediate reaction if something was coming after me in the imaginary world,
I'd take a scythe.
I would look at him and go, Bankai, real
Like
quick.
the whole Soul Eater scythe.
Yes.
Or like the guns or something.
I would do the Bleach thing. I'd be like, Bankai. I'd steal like Kageyoshi, where it's like the flower petals that or that are all swords. Like, I wouldn't be like, I have this pair of scissors and I'm going to fight this imaginary like demon.
Well, yeah.
Like, that was my one complaint. Other than that, it was a very good story. It kept me entertained. So, with that being said, we're going to get into a serious topic, which is definitely different for us.
Yeah.
But it was just something that really floored me that I watched yesterday that I was like,
Like,
I
it's
have to talk
shocking,
about
but it's
it.
not shocking.
I agree with you, because there are moments where you're like, you've heard the rumblings through, like, we'll just say like the streets
Street, okay, Sutton.
where you hear about like the rumors and things that go on with these child stars. And then it's a whole nother thing to like be thrown it in your face and find out the truth about what was going on. But it's different when like it hits you and you're like, oh my God, it was really going on. Like, you had inklings, suspicions, things like that made you think like, maybe, possibly, but then to be told all the terrible things that you thought are true. So we're talking about Quiet on the Set, which is a documentary about Nickelodeon back in like the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
About what was really going on. So some of it is going to be a little dark. Some of it is I think there's lawsuits and things against it already too, isn't there?
I don't know. I'm assuming he probably would have had some sort of like libel lawsuit or something.
Yeah. So I want to start with, let's just jump right into what I felt was like the part that hit me the most, which was Drake Bell.
Okay.
I feel terrible for him. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, of course.
Right.
There was the moment with his dad. That one I thought was really sad because that Brian Peck, he was clearly a predator. Like, there's no justification. He was a predator, proven in court. I felt for the dad because he knew.
He was really pushing.
He knew.
Yeah, exactly. And I know they were trying to blame just him being gay and him being
right.
The Peck dude being gay, and he's just flamboyant like that nothing weird is going on. But
and his dad like knew that something was up, so like he kept a close eye on him and didn't let him be alone. So then, as predators do, they work to isolate their victim, so that he was putting all these bugs in Drake's ear about how his dad was bad for his career. He didn't need to manage him. Nobody liked him on set. So Drake and his mother ended up listening to Brian and getting rid of his dad, which that to me was a shock to begin with. But you also hear those horror stories about like the parent managers, like
that's why most child stars get emancipated.
Correct. So like then you have, let's say, because not apples and oranges in comparisons, but like whenever you'd watch like Dance Moms, you'd see like how crazy those parents are. But his dad, I felt for him throughout the whole thing, because even when Brian succeeded and made it so that his dad wasn't around, his dad's one wish, Drake's dad, was don't let him be alone with that man. And then Brian tricked the mom into doing just that.
Exactly.
So God.
And then after everything came out, he still got a job on a kid show.
Yes, after the court case
wild.
and everything, he got a job doing The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Disney.
Yep.
So he jumped from Nickelodeon to Disney. I want to know how that happens.
All those people who wrote all those letters for him in support.
So there was, I think the number was like 40-something celebrities wrote letters for him to defend him. And it's just like, how do you know the story of what's going on?
Exactly.
And still defend this man?
Exactly. It's because they're in denial and they don't want to believe it.
Like when they talked about like his family wrote letters, like that I could understand, because like that, you are family members. But at the same time, like, me personally, if I knew that my family member did something atrocious like that, I would not be writing a letter.
Right.
I wouldn't be like, please
that goes
show
back to
mercy.
That dude, from that 70s show.
Yes. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher. They got in all that heat, and then they had to retract the letter because of all the terrible things that were coming out about it. I don't know. The Drake thing just hit me right in the feels, and then he's been going through it since, because like then you have the cast of Ned's Declassified coming out making jokes about it, and like that's why so many of these crimes like sexual abuse aren't reported, is because you have all these people that come out and they just make these jokes about it.
I know.
And I don't understand it. Like,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate though for a second, because I know they had a like a crazy set life too, because like they had a whole bunch of alcohol addiction, drug addiction. Someone even talked about sexual assault. So people cope differently. I'm not saying how they coped was right, but
That's
I can
true.
see people coping differently.
I agree with you there, especially because like even like when it comes to coping with anything, everything is different. Like I know that when bad things happen to like you and I, we make jokes about it.
Exactly, because it's awkward.
That's just
And
how we
I'm
get through
awkward.
it. That's how I get through it with death as well. Because like once I'm done being mopey about it and all that, I just start joking about it. I never really confront things. I just laugh it off and move on. So
Avoidance, the best thing ever.
yes. So I give kudos to Drake for having that type of strength to be able to do that, especially on that type of platform, because he remained anonymous all these years. And then he came out and he gave that statement and told his side of the story. And so it does hit me in the feels, which is hard to do because I am a little heartless. But let's talk about the Dan Schneider thing.
He was a piece of work.
He was, oh my God. So looking back and after watching this, because the show for me growing up that I was like in love with was the Amanda Show.
Yeah.
So seeing how she went through all that hard time and she's still trying to kind of rebuild her life, she's someone I'm always rooting for. So then to hear this side of things, that
It kind of puts it in perspective as to now you kind of understand
like why she went through what she's gone through. Then she I guess years before, she came out with, I think it's an Ashley Blake, which is a fake Twitter. Is it Twitter or Instagram?
I think it was fake Twitter.
So then she was exposing everything, and no one really took her serious.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. That comes down to the whole, when somebody tells you the truth or tells you something, you need to believe it. Especially when it comes to abuse and things like that. And then
My guess is because she kind of went off the deep end and then she started talking about it. It was all just very sudden.
that's true. However, I would think that maybe
I would think that would be a call for help. That
yes, especially when, because
that's
like
how I would see it.
a lot of people, they just like they bottle everything up and then they finally like explode. I think maybe that's what happened with her. She was just bottling everything up. She was hiding everything because she was such a public figure, and then she finally had a moment where she was like, enough is enough, and then immediately got labeled as crazy, which is sad. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Britney. But that Dan guy, he just was doing all this weird stuff with these kids' TV shows. Like, they mentioned the hot tub scene where it was her and him in the hot tub on, I think it was the Amanda Show. And looking, like, as a kid, I didn't see anything wrong with it. But, like, looking back and, like, seeing the clips and things,
Now that you're old and
now that I'm wiser and more in tune with that type of messaging.
so old.
Yes. I will definitely say that I was like, this is really weird. Same thing with like the pickle boy thing. Like looking back,
Yeah.
it was weird. Like
That was.
they showed that clip where like
Ray Romano is eating the pickle.
yes,
Yes.
slid him through like a hole.
A glory hole.
Yes.
Yes.
Holy crap! Like as a kid, I never caught that. But then like
no, why would you? You were naive. You were.
I know, but then like still moving on to like the newer shows like Victorious, and then Sam and Cat. Jeanette McCurdy was ringing the alarm. Nobody was listening really. Then they showed that video of Ariana Grande with the potato
Or the water bottle.
or the water bottle.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to get milk. It was milk out of, or
And
juice.
no, she was trying to juice the potato.
She was trying to juice the potato, and she had it gripped with both hands. I don't think that I can do the motion without being censored. And like squeezing, and then pours water all over herself. And then there was that clip where it's her and like the circle of 5 guys all around her, just like squirting her in the face.
Yeah. Or the Zoe 101.
Yeah, where it was like gel squirted right on her forehead. Oh my
It
God.
was wild.
The streets told us for the longest time that weird stuff always happened with child stars. But then, like, this is just blowing my mind because it's one thing to be told and another one to like be like exposed to it and being told the truth. Holy crap. But I did see today that Drake released a TikTok asking people to be kinder to Josh because Josh did reach out to him. But there's a lot of stuff going on with this now.
It's wild.
And then what are some I saw somewhere that Victoria Justice refused to like let him like allegedly like rub her shoulders and things like that and like he would try to make a move on her, Dan. And so he cut her time on the last 2 seasons.
Oh.
So I fell down the TikTok rabbit hole of this. So
that
like,
makes sense.
Every other video is like more exposed stuff going on, which is how I learned about the Amanda Bynes secret Twitter account.
Yeah. But now he's on an apology tour. Talking about how he needs to do better and blah, blah, blah.
He needs to stay away from children's TV or TV in general. That's what I think.
Because I didn't know that he was, he created that What I Like About You show with her on it.
I didn't realize that either. And I never really watched that, but I know that you watched it.
I did.
And you really liked it growing up. I don't know.
I liked Amanda Bynes.
I still like Amanda Bynes. I follow her TikTok. I would like to see her have a comeback, but I don't think that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Because she was, for like that young of an age, I will say it, I felt like she was a comedic genius.
She was hilarious.
She was so good. And then she did Easy A.
That was her last one, wasn't it?
And she said that she was drunk the whole time that she did it. And that shocked me because I loved her in that movie. And she still has one of my favorite lines ever where she's doing the prayer circle with the other Christians. And she goes, God says that we should love the homosexuals, but it's so hard because they just keep doing it. That is one of my favorite lines in a movie. So what else really do you want to talk about when it comes to
I just wonder about who else was like affected.
Oh yeah,
because it probably goes further. They're just not talking about it.
I agree. I think that it goes a lot further with like a lot of the big names. That's why I think that Drake was such a shock.
I'm surprised it came out now so far behind like the Me Too movement.
Yes, but I mean, if you don't have people willing to talk.
Exactly, I get that one.
And I think that since he was willing to do this, that's kind of what made it, because he was such...
And I felt so bad for his 2 lady writers.
Yes. When they were talking about the 2 women writers where they had to split a salary.
Yeah, what the...
Who does that? Like, and then when he got rid of the one because she wouldn't, like, we'll just say play ball with him, and he kept on the other one, and he wanted her to take work, what was it, 10 weeks for free, and then he hired a man for like normal salary, and she wasn't.
Yeah.
I just hope that we've come at least a decently long way when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Unfortunately,
I do know
we don't really learn from our mistakes.
And women are still underpaid. I mean, hell, there needs to be a lot of change when it comes to things like that.
Absolutely, there needs to be change in general.
We need to protect our child stars. We need to protect people. We need to stop all this abuse.
Because, I mean, look at Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, my God. I can only imagine the things that she's been through, and she's just finally coming out and trying to make a comeback as well.
Yeah.
Which I support that as well as a fellow ginger. I just want the best for these, well, they're not kids now, but these adults. I just want,
because they're our age.
They are our age. Along with watching it and feeling all this terrible, like, guilt and feeling like, holy crap, all this was going on behind the scenes. And then at the same time, it definitely made me feel old. Because
that was our childhood.
It was our childhood. I wish them all the best. I'd like to switch gears and try to talk about something a little less heavy.
All right. Well, we'll do it after this break.
Pun intended. We'll be back.
This dude is recapping. He's rewatching Seventh Heaven. Have you seen those videos?
No, I haven't.
But he's recapping it, and they're so funny because there's like this one. She was a pregnant carjacker that she looked like she was in Bible school. So they take her home, and then they bring her parents over and says, "Hey, surprise, she's pregnant," and then they disown her. And they use that to teach their kids to not steal cars.
And we are back for our final thoughts / last segment. We're going to talk about some things from our childhood because I feel like that might kind of fit.
Since Nickelodeon ruined it all?
Nickelodeon is kind of ruined now for me. Like, now that I know everything that was going on, I don't want to love them anymore.
Right.
But I do want to talk about some other things that happened in our childhood, such as like one of the big shows for me, because I was a big Disney kid, minus them hiring that guy. I do want to talk about Hannah Montana. I don't want that to be ruined because I want to live in this fantasy world where like everything was great.
It just cracks me up how you hated how she sounded and her music in the beginning because she was too country.
Yeah, that was my same problem with Taylor Swift, and I'm gonna get hate for this at first because when they first made that transition to like pop, all I could hear is like the country twang when they would sing, and it would drive me nuts. But then once I kind of got used to it, it was better for me.
I think Taylor's kind of stopped. So did Miley's as their genre changed.
I agree. Miley Cyrus does no wrong in my eyes now because I just love her and I think that she's one of the best singers.
I don't know. I thought she had a really good breakaway from Disney because I know like she kind of went to the extreme.
I was going to say, did she though?
I mean,
she definitely had a good breakaway. Like she got away.
Yes. I mean, were there some questionable things? Yeah. Like the whole Robin Thicke of it all.
The Robin Thicke of it all.
But
so with her, I'm just glad that like looking back, I don't think that like the fame or anything really changed her, but she was already pretty much like famous and down to earth. I love her music. She did that one song for what was it, Black Mirror, where she did that cover of that song, and that was definitely for the gays. So thank you, Miley, for that. Because I still on a roll.
Okay.
I still listen to it when it comes on my phone, and it's up there with another song, like artist from our childhood that I love is Selena Gomez. Like that song is up there with I Love You Like a Love Song, which I'm so gay, I don't skip either of those songs. If like I will skip every other song, but the moment that one of those comes on, I'm like, ooh, then I listen to the whole song and just let it naturally move on to the next one.
I can see that.
Wizards of Waverly Place was another big show from our childhood. Did you watch it?
I did, sort of. Like, growing up,
we were like teens and stuff when that came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were... I felt I was a little older for that. So, like, I grew up with, like, That's So Raven.
Oh, yeah. I loved That's So Raven. I think the Wizards of Waverly Place I ended up watching because I babysat my nieces and nephews all the time. And I remember...
They're rebooting, but not rebooting it.
I do know that they're not going to invite that one guy back.
Which one?
There's one of them that does OnlyFans now from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah.
Which I... had no idea. I mean, I'm not paying for OnlyFans, but I can definitely see why Disney didn't invite him back. But also, I mean, now that I know they have a history, they may as well bring him back.
They have the X-Men back now.
Well, the X-Men are baller. Everybody loves X-Men.
I know, mate. I told you earlier, I want them to have like the Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cyclops thruple. That would be so fun and progressive.
X-Men Evolution. That was a really good like Marvel.
That one was good.
They there's a one scene, I won't say it on the podcast, but it was highly inappropriate. Dillon taped it and sent it to me.
That's great.
Because I told him I didn't believe that in the show they say the F slur for gay people. And he sat there and sent me the video of it.
And said it. It was
and
great.
I don't know if that's really what he said, but it surely did seem like it. But so that's so Raven. Well, you have what's her name? The girl that played Chelsea, Annalisa Vanderpool, is that her name? And Christy Carlson Romano from Even Stevens, they do that podcast. Where
do they? See, I didn't know they do a podcast.
Ooh, it's pretty good. I haven't listened to a whole episode, but I get all the clips I get all the clips from the Tic Tac. So don't ban Tic Tac. I need it. But they talk about like their time on
Tic Tac Toe.
A winner. But they talk about their time with the Disney Channel and like some of the messed up stuff about what happened. Not so bad that it's going to ruin your perception so far. But then also you have the girl that played, who was the sidekick on Wizards of Waverly Place? I don't know her name, but her and the dad from Wizards of Waverly Place, they do a podcast.
That's random.
Yeah, so they do talk about the set of Wizards and things like that, and things that were going on. There's a lot of our childhood shows where they've come out with podcasts about. I never really watched Even Stevens.
I didn't either because I thought it was stupid.
I wasn't into that, and then
Shia LaBeouf went a little crazy.
Well, looking back at what happened at Nickelodeon, like now I
know.
want to know what really happened with him.
Well, he was Disney. I know. So,
Dylan, I hate
Child
to
stars.
bring this up because we talked about it in the first segment, but Disney did hire that one guy
I
who
know.
was convicted, and all he had to do was like, what was it? Oh, I don't know this for certain, so like, no one needs to be like, you misquoted it, but it was like basically community service.
yeah.
All you have to do is get put on a list and do community service, and you're fine.
He shouldn't have been able to get a job at a
Anywhere
children's
near
TV
children.
show if he is a registered sex offender.
I agree. I mean, here in Indiana, and I think around all of the U.S., if you're on that list, you got to go around and like knock on the door and tell your neighbors, don't you?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Well, they're supposed to. But now we have that website that'll just pull them all up for you anyway. But what's another fun thing from your childhood that we can try to ruin for you?
I don't know. What else can we ruin? Did you ever watch like the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen stuff? You know how they had all the like the TV shows and all the movies?
That was more my sister's thing. I wasn't really into the Olsen twins. I have a confession. I didn't even like Full House. I thought that show was awful.
Yeah, I could see that.
I couldn't watch it. So I stuck with like...
Because it was too sweet and gross. And
Right. I stuck more with like the
I liked
cartoons.
Roseanne.
You would. Roseanne was good, but that was more so because, especially here in Indiana, like the mid...
It was relatable.
Yeah, it was relatable because they struggled. And my favorite...
But I'm not saying I agree with Roseanne's views or anything.
No.
Is she crazy?
She
Allegedly.
went crazy. But I will say that one of my favorite jokes ever from the Roseanne show was when, because it's definitely how you feel ordering fast food, is when she goes through the fast food line and they're like, she's ordering and the woman can't get it right. And she finally is like, you moron. And the woman's like, yeah, we can add more on, but it'll cost extra. That's one of my favorite jokes. That was such a good show. And then she went nuts.
Yep.
More stuff from our childhood that just gets ruined.
I know.
I never really cared, speaking of like shows that were around, I never really liked Seinfeld until like now that I'm older and I find myself watching it.
See, I never watched Seinfeld. I did Friends and I did Frasier.
Now-
sort of. But I don't like Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, I don't like Kelsey Grammer. But like growing up, my mother, this is going to sound terrible. She didn't really monitor our like what shows we were watching because like I would watch South Park and all that.
Yeah.
But I also feel like being able to watch like animation that's like South Park, The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, things like that. It really helped to shape my sense of humor. Like in my head, even if I don't say the joke, like I can turn anything into a joke in my head.
Exactly.
Which is also how I cope with everything. Hence why I make all the dead dad jokes, which, yeah, my mom doesn't like that either.
I mean, my dad could be dead. I just don't know him.
Another show that was around was Lizzie McGuire. You didn't really watch that.
No.
I didn't either, though what I did watch was the movie, and I really liked it.
I never watched the movie, but I know they were supposed to like reboot it, but Disney said no because it was too adult.
Yeah, but
That was weird.
at the same time, though, thinking about it, like, Lizzie McGuire's audience are adults.
Exactly.
So,
It's not going to be for
kid's show.
kids now.
like,
Because those kids who watched it are grown ass adults.
Raven's Home, when they brought that back, they tried to like do a mesh of the two, like her kids and then her and Chelsea's life.
Yeah.
And I can't help but feel like I would have been more in tune to watch that if it was more geared towards adults.
Yeah.
Because like,
But from what I understand, they don't even have her what's her face in it anymore.
Chelsea?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that it's even going anymore.
Yeah, it is.
It's still going?
Still going.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that it was like a one season and done.
No.
God, I only caught some of that because I believe it was my niece Brooklyn was watching it one day.
Oh.
Which, this isn't really from our childhood, but weirdly my niece is like in love with the Vampire Diaries. And she's like 10 and maybe she's 12. I don't know. Not a great uncle, this one. But I bring it up because she has my Max login, so I just let her watch what she wants on there. And she sits there and she watches Vampire Diaries, and my husband Corey comes down the stairs one day and he goes, "Why the hell are you watching Vampire Diaries?" And I go, "I'm not watching the Vampire Diaries." He's like, "You're on like season 4 episode blah blah." And I'm like, I've never watched Vampire Diaries on Max. I watched it when it aired back when we were younger because I watched like the first few seasons. Then once Nina Dobrev left, I was like, well, this is dumb. Yeah. But I found out that it was in fact Brooklyn watching it. So that made me feel justified to like come back at him and be like, told you so, which was great for me. God.
Did you watch any like the Disney movies? I grew up on like the Disney movies.
Yes.
Like Halloween Town. I didn't like the one that when they changed the actresses.
That was like the last one where they changed Marnie. I will say that on Halloween Town, now this is really revealing for like what my type is because I like nerdy people, and I always thought that Marnie's brother when we were younger, the real nerdy kid, was really cute. So that explains a lot about me. I loved Halloween Town 1 and 2. After that it got kind of meh. I still will watch it when I see it on TV around Halloween because Freeform does the 31 days of Halloween and sometimes it's Halloween Town. I still skip the newer ones though. Not a big fan of those. But you know that the girl that played Marnie in Calabar are married now.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think that they're the ones that are married. If not, then I'm sure I'll figure out that I was wrong later on. But as for now, in my head, yeah, they're a couple because they do TikToks and stuff together.
Well, that's nice.
That is nice.
Well, I saw what's her face, Melissa Joan Hart did a TikTok with like half of the Sabrina cast.
I think they're doing some type of tour.
Yeah, I think it's a 90s convention.
Because Caroline Ray's a part of it. And she was on After Midnight with Taylor Tomlinson, and she was promoting that.
I like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
I do too. And
I grew up with that.
I grew up with that. I really like that show. I even liked the new Netflix series that they did with it.
The darker one?
Yeah,
I did too.
I liked that one too until like the later seasons because that one also got kind of meh.
There's only 3 seasons.
Well, still, it got kind of meh. That's kind of a theme though. Like a series will start out
Really strong.
really strong,
good.
and then it just kind of goes downhill. Another one, for example, now that we're talking about like just series that we enjoy, to end on a light note. Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is
started strong.
It is my favorite series of all time, and I will stand by it. However,
that last season,
after season
questionable.
6, like, because I believe it was 5 or 6 was Frozen. After that is when it really went downhill. Like the season where
Emma went evil.
Where she went evil, and they went to Hades, and then they tried to do the spinoff
with Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
Well, no, because the last season was Henry and Regina were the only 2 returning people.
Well, Henry wasn't really, because it was a grown Henry.
I know. It was a grown Henry.
So it was only Regina.
You
really.
know what I mean. The returning characters. And then, like, they just redid
weird.
everything. Like, they changed Cinderella. Mm-hmm. They changed everybody. I would like them
Did Rumple even? Rumple was there, wasn't he?
Was he?
I don't know. I don't think remember. I even watched the last season.
I blacked it out. I blacked it out because it was awful for me as a fan. But I loved the first 6 seasons.
Well, I liked that the actress who played Anna was Beck from You.
Was she really?
Yes.
I will say that Once Upon a Time, they truly did. They casted like the perfect people for everything. Like even when they did Frozen, like the lady that was playing
Except
Elsa
Aurora. I didn't like Aurora.
Aurora was really whiny, but to be fair, Aurora was asleep her whole movie.
I like Joanna Garcia as Ariel though.
Ooh, she did really good. Victoria Smurfett as Cruella. I don't care what anybody says, she was the best Cruella ever.
She did really well.
Just really well. Who's your favorite Cruella of all time?
I don't have one.
How do you not have favorite actors of like certain characters?
I mean, I never really cared for Cruella. I've always been indifferent to her.
You need to get out of here right now.
I'm just saying.
She's like the greatest. Other than the whole killing Dalmatians, but she's like the greatest villain. She's just evil to be evil.
Yeah.
Which is my kind of evil. Like, I don't want to know about your sad backstory. I just want you to be a mean see you next Tuesday.
See, I like Maleficent from Once Upon a Time, but that's just because I'm biased because I liked her on True Blood.
I've never watched True Blood. Everything I know about it is that like it's a super gay vampire show.
I mean, every show or every vampire show can be gay.
I feel like True Blood probably took it to another level.
Probably. You should try Interview with the Vampire on AMC Plus. It's pretty good.
I don't have AMC Plus.
I do. I can give you my stuff.
You gave it to me that one time, and then you said that it was going to be shut off.
Yeah, but I turned it back on.
Oh my God! Why did you tell me?
I'm telling you now.
Okay. Well, anything else that you have going on this week that we can end on a happy note?
I'm going to beat 7, hopefully tomorrow.
He better, because I want to talk to him about the last dungeon, which is the Temple of the Ancients.
Where Aerith gets penetrated.
No, that's after the temple. Like that scene was like, eh.
So how much really of the game do I have left if I just do story?
Once you do the temple, you cannot go back. So once
I figured because when I got to the port, it says you cannot fast travel after this point.
Correct.
That's why I turned my ass around and went to finish everything.
I will tell you that in the temple, a little spoiler for you, you do find EXP up.
But yeah, that's all I have planned. I ain't got nothing better to do.
So happy note, Dillon will hopefully beat Final Fantasy VII. Happy note for me, Legend of Legacy is coming out for
I'm
the
excited
DS.
for that one too. When does it come out?
Friday. Friday's the 22nd, isn't it?
Yes, because today's the 20th.
Yep, so it comes out on Friday, which I have it ordered.
Okay, I'm going to go pre-order it tonight.
So I am probably going to play that as
Did
my
you do
night
digital?
game. Yeah. I'm only going to do digital from now on, Dillon. I'm sorry to my husband. I know that there are games that I play that he may want to play, but he can play it on my PS5.
I liked Legend of Legacy. I don't know what happened to it because I remember getting it, but I don't remember what I did with it. I don't know if I traded it in at GameStop. If I did, I'm fucking stupid. Because the one thing I will say, I'm very stupid because I had the Radiant Histoire game. For the DS, and I traded that in.
Oh, way to go.
Yeah, I'm stupid.
This is why I just keep all of my video games.
I know, but I get to that point, if I don't play it, what's the point of keeping it?
Collectors, girl.
I understand that now.
Because, like, look at the Dot Hack series, the original Dot Hack series. I have all
is like
four.
$200 because it's not in circulation anymore.
The only games that I beat myself up over that I didn't buy when they were out was the Dragon Quest games for the DS.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones.
It's because you weren't really into Dragon Quest growing up. Which you should have been. I'm surprised you weren't.
I know. I freaking love it now.
It's great.
So we're going to play video games. I hope everybody enjoyed this dark yet entertaining podcast. Tell them where they can find us, Dillon.
Apple, Patreon,
Spotify,
and YouTube.
Good job, Dillon. You'll figure it out eventually. Follow us on all social media. All you have to do is spell
Humble Narcissist wrong and you'll find us.
Shut up, that's just the logo. Humble Narcissists with an S. Make sure that you add that S or else you aren't following us. So have a wonderful day. And
who are they following?
I don't know. Somebody got Humble Narcissist, but I got Narcissists.
Okay. You have too many cysts.
Well, maybe that's why I need a new doctor. You all have a wonderful week, and we will see you
next time.
Bye.
See ya.